an Air Force officer, an Army officer and the Foreign Secretary come and give a very calm representation of what is going on, what is that we need to know, what public information needs to be passed on, and what misinformation coming from Pakistan needs to be countered. Let us now have the gravitas, as I've been saying for several days, of understanding that in the interim period, and I'm assuming these press conferences will now become a regular occurrence until the current hostilities are over, in the interim period, we are operating in an information vacuum. We have to respect this information vacuum because everything cannot be told to us real time, even though we live in an era that we're used to. We are used to immediately going online and we need to know immediately what's going on. You're used to second by second updates. Now, I promise you, what we witnessed in the last couple of days is a lot of idle speculation being touted as solemn fact. Now, I want you to remember, and I'm going to remember for the rest of my life, what a joke the Defense Minister of Pakistan made of himself. He made a joke of himself. He has gone infamous all over the world as a laughing stock. I have no intention of making a joke of myself by making wild claims of which I have no information. And I'm hoping that across the media fraternity, similar care and caution is being applied. We respect the information vacuum. We are open to conversation about scenarios and what can happen, what couldn't happen. Fair enough. We are open to observe what we feel confident through extensive journalistic practice that is happening behind the scenes, that is fed into my ear and put on your screens. The stuff that we feel confident is authentic, we go with that. And there's no rush. Let's respect that for a second. If the government of India and its officers, whom I can assume are also going through sleepless nights and having to undertake very stressful information and decisions, if they can be calm and collected and be measured, mature and responsible, so can the rest of us. So yes, the situation is hostile. Yes, we'll go through periods of information vacuum. Let's be patient. What is being asked of us? The only thing being asked of us is carry on with your routine lives, wish the country well, respect legitimate guidances given, and be patient. The rest of the job is being handled here. So let them do the job that they know how to do. Let's do our jobs responsibly. Now, we have been briefed with the information that we need to know that gives us a picture of what has happened across the intervening night yesterday, because what we saw was in fact the truth. Pakistan has denied it. They have said nothing has happened on the LOC and nothing has happened on the international border. You've just been told that from Siachen to Sir Creek, at 36 locations between 300 and 400 drone incursions took place. Around 30 or 40 of these drones were shot down, which were considered a direct threat. It is being estimated that the drone incursion was targeted to test India's missile and air defense systems and to provide surveillance of current troop presentations or the situation in Indian Air Force bases. The fact that after the whole day has now elapsed and we can now reliably tell you that there has been no civilian casualty other than what has happened in the shelling that is going on across the LOC indicates to you that for a large measure our air defense systems have done the job. Now, what the Pakistanis have faced subsequently, we are being told that one radar unit of theirs has been destroyed. I am sure other actions may have happened, but obviously they're not going to be discussed here. We will find out about them post facto. Every single action that is taking place in Pakistan, we honestly don't need to know. What we need to know is on the overall picture, are we on the ball? And it seems to us that we are on the ball. We have seen very good occurrences through the course of last evening, where across India's western border, millions of people very calmly, very patiently went through the guidance of blackout orders, probably for the first time in a generation, and for many people for the first time in their lives. There was no chaos, there was no breakdown of law and order. We have no information of any civil disturbance. We have no information of any opportunistic crime. That is saying a lot. This is 100 million plus people who have never done this before. We barely had one or two sort of informational drills. So, and imagine if you're sitting in your house with the lights off, you only have your mobile phone with X amount of battery left, and you're hearing explosions, you're seeing flares in the sky, you're seeing rockets flying around, you're obviously nervous. But 100 million people have very calmly waited it out and the next morning gone on with their lives. That's exactly what is being hoped and expected from this great population of ours. Now, let's open up this conversation because a lot of developments are now due. Let us examine them stage by stage, step by step. Joining us on the broadcast, Ambassador Bhaswati Mukherjee is with us, Professor Madhav Nalapat is with us, Dr. Sharad Kohli joining us on the broadcast as well, Major Mathur is with us, Gautam Mukherjee with us. I see others as well. I'll come to you one at a time. Ambassador, let me quickly start with you because there are several salient features that have come from the Foreign Secretary. One he's taken pains to point out is the disinformation campaigns of Pakistan's complete and abject denial that they undertook no assaults last night, either on the LOC or across the international border. Secondly, their further indication that India is attacking its own territories, its own gurdwaras, its own churches, and killing its own people. Now, I'm assuming the Pakistanis sit down and regardless of what happens in God's good earth, they simply make up the story and then wish it to be true. How do we then actually handle this when they are, operating in such a fashion?
Well, their fake news, Rishabh, has not succeeded. Their fake narrative was intended to raise communal passions in India. That was their objective from day one, right from the time that they came into Pahalgam and perpetrated those terrible executions on the basis of religion, then trying to raise the communal temperature, now saying that attacks on gurdwaras have happened or churches because Indian armed forces are turning on its own people, disclaiming the fact that they've killed civilians, including children, including innocent shopkeepers and their a 16-year-old son in Pooch, a Sardar Sikh family who've been there, settled for decades. This kind of fake news will be discarded by our population. But what is even more dangerous is the fake news that they are spreading on social media. Like, for instance, this morning, many of us, you may have got it, that from tomorrow there's no ATM will function, Indian banks are shutting down. That is intended to create panic. Then there are several other such fake news floating around, saying that the government communication system is on the verge of breakdown, how you should use your iPhone in such a scenario, etc. This is all fake news. This is also being generated with the intention of causing panic in the civilian population, especially those in remote areas who are completely dependent either on their mobile phone or on their television to know what's going on. As you rightly pointed out, Rishabh, this has not succeeded. Today, I feel so proud of being part of this great Indian population because most people have not been around in 1971 as I was. I know what a blackout means. I know what it meant in 71 when we heard that Pakistani aircraft has been shot down near Hindan. I know what it means to spend sleepless nights downstairs, huddled in a chair, waiting for the worst to happen. But most Indians were born after 71. They have no idea. And yet, as you said, with such little preparation, they handled it so well. I have friends in Jammu who told me that last night was so scary. There were tracer lights the whole night through. There was noise. There was complete and total blackout. Not one person used a torch or a mobile phone light because they obeyed absolutely the instructions given to them. That shows a very high level of commitment and patriotism
Ma'am,
on the
it's
part
more
of
than that. It's more than that because